Hello and welcome back to the SimplyMap series of videos. This video is going to be about selecting locations within SimplyMap. All maps are a set of variables displayed within a set of locations. Once you have your variable down, you want to choose locations in order to best demonstrate the data that you are examining for a given map. SimplyMap has a number of options for locations that are useful. Similar to the variables selection, under the Locations tab on the left, you see that there is Recent, which allows you to find things that you've recently searched for, Favorites, which allow things that are frequently used. You can add any specific location to your favorites if you want to return to it again and again. A location like Chicago or Rogers Park in terms of looking at a certain area. It also allows the creation of custom locations, which are ways in which you can combine multiple locations into a specific location for the purposes of location selection. For instance, if you want to combine several neighboring zip codes, you could combine those zip codes into a custom location that you could select without having to select each individual one. Once you select locations, you'll see here the basic ability to find a location to add. You can find locations by a number of different resources, either the entire United States, you can find states, you can also look for congressional districts, counties, cities, zip codes, and census tracts and block groups, which are very small areas that are determined by the US Census that are ways of comparing groups of population. Every census tract has about the same number of people, and every block group has about the same number of people. And those are smaller in areas of higher population density and larger in areas of lower population density, but are very useful because they provide more information. In selecting the USA, your only option is all of the USA. States you can select by state. When you get into congressional districts, you can select by state and then specific congressional district. However, you do need to know the congressional district by number. This is something that you can find elsewhere or that you can find within SimplyMap. We'll be demonstrating that functionality in a little bit. If you are searching by county, you can first search by state and then select the county. One of the things that SimplyMap will do for you is it will create a specific list so that you don't have to look through every county in every state in order to find a specific county. It will also allow you to search by cities. You see that there's a large selection of cities within Illinois, and it will narrow that down. And this is a list of cities indicated by the census. One of the things that is useful is that you can also begin typing within the city box, and it will provide options. So if you're looking for Chicago, you can type Chicago and see a list that has all of the Illinois cities that include Chicago in their name. If you're looking for zip codes, those are specifically selected, and it will show you even the city to double check that you are selecting the right zip code. Census tracts are entered by number, but you are also able to search by address. If you are looking for a specific address, you can figure out what census tract it is a part of. The same is true for a block group. While you can search by ID numbers as well, knowing those is not necessarily, takes a little bit of research. In order to select the right material, one of the things that can be useful is using some of SimplyMap's functionalities. So let's start by looking for 60660, a zip code that might be familiar to some, as it is the zip code that includes part of Loyola. As you see, this has zoomed in directly and it has highlighted the borders of the 60660 zip code. One of the things that is useful, if you wanted to determine what the congressional district and the block group was for a specific area, but only knew its zip code or a specific address, you can determine that using SimplyMap, which can be a very useful thing. So, to do so, you go to this upper menu here, which allows you to view the location information, and you simply click on an area. And under that area is listed alternative locations. And so you'll see that the southern part of campus, at least, is located in Congressional District 9. It's in Cook County. It's in Chicago. The zip code is 60660. And you also see here the census tract, CT 030104, and the block group, BG 0301041. You'll note that these are very similar. Block groups are all related to census tracts, but those can be very useful. One of the things that you can do once you've selected a location using this is that you can also add to a combination. You can create a new combination, give it a name, save. You can then select another area and add that to that same area, which will collect these two census tracts next to each other in order to get this specific area. And you will note that those are now available under custom locations. Selecting your location is an important part of making a map, but it is not the end of making a map. Once you have your variable and location, you'll have to choose output, which is the subject of a later video.